Thank you for that awesome introduction. Again, my name is Timothea Pham, and I am a program officer with the Community Initiative team at the Mass Cultural Council. I help manage the festivals program at the Mass Cultural Council. So today, I really do want to share some information about the program, the grants that we make, some of the resources that have helped a lot of festival producers actually start a festival. And I want to share some examples of community festivals and celebrations just to get you all inspired. So just to get a read of the room, is everyone here a local from the Franklin area, or are you all from different regions? I know you're from Maine. Are you all from Milford? Great. Nice, okay. Medway, okay. Franklin. Great. And are you all here to learn, how to produce a festival or how to sustain a festival?
Yes.
Great, perfect. So this is the best place to learn how to do that. So we can just get started. And this is Pushpa from the Franklin Cultural Council. She's going to be speaking about the festival that she helped co-produce last year, but also going to help me with the slideshow. So thank you so much. So for the agenda today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Community Initiative team at the Mass Cultural Council. Again, a little bit of the overview of our grants program, some of the resources, and then after, I'm just going to have Pushpa talk again a little bit about the Franklin Cultural Festival. And then if you all have time after, just share your questions, share your examples, and we can all learn from each other and just to see what's happening across the state. So the Community Initiative team at the Mass Cultural Council manages 3 grant programs. So we have our Local Cultural Council program, the Cultural Districts program, and the Festivals program. So Michael touched upon this in his keynote speech, and we found that by merging these three grant programs, it really enhanced our community-based strategy to really advocate for arts and culture on a local level. And so if you don't know this, the Local Cultural Council program is the largest arts grassroots funding network in the entire country. So we have a lot of people looking towards Massachusetts as a way to replicate this. Again, we have 51 cultural districts, and we see a lot of local cultural councils and cultural districts actually produce festivals. So having our grantees from each of these programs interact with each other has, proven to be really successful over the years. So we have our communities team here. We originally had 6 people, but this is who we have now. We have Lisa Simmons, who's our program manager, and she oversees all 3 grant programs. I work with communities in the greater Boston area, greater Springfield area, and Nantucket, and as of now, Martha's Vineyard. And then we have Ricky, and Carolyn Cole is our newest addition to the team. She's actually going to be your Metrowest regional liaison, but she also specializes in cultural districts. She used to run the Lynn Downtown Cultural District and just has a wealth of knowledge. So definitely, again, I'm going to send this presentation to you all. Oh, can you see?
Not really, but
okay. Well, I will stand here just to make that better. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, so this is our team, and we're going to be probably doing a series of webinars later on just to introduce everyone. So a little bit about the festivals program. It started originally in 2016 with an original investment of $100,000. What we found was festivals are one of the first accessible touch points that people have when experiencing arts and culture, right? There's Art in the Commons, summer concert series, food festivals, and a lot of people don't know that that's a specific arts and culture experience. So we really wanted to support that effort. And us and Arizona are the only state arts councils that really support festivals in the country. So it's very unique. We started off with $500, and again, the purpose was really to support festival producers bringing artistic and cultural celebratory programming to communities. And to date, the program has funded over 1,200 festivals. And to date, we've increased our $500 grant amount to $1,500. And that has been due to a lot of internal advocacy, but also external advocacy. So we would like to really extend our appreciation to all of you to really help make that happen. So currently we make grants to in-person festivals and online festivals. Oh, really? And for non-first-time festival producers, we support audience development and audience engagement efforts. So if you're not, thinking about throwing a festival, but you want to, increase your donation base, you want to get people excited about your actual festival, that's something that we would support as well.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
Is that only for districts?
Oh, no, it's for any festival producer.
I mean,
Okay.
regardless if you're designated as a district, cultural
Yeah,
district?
no, it could be anyone. So our eligibility is that they need to be an organization. So if you're an unincorporated group, you would just need a fiscal sponsor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
of
you for
course.
clarifying.
Of course. So the first resource I did want to highlight is this YouTube video that we have on our website. There's the link below, and it goes through the elements of a sustainable festival. So the elements are programming, funding, succession planning, audience development, partnerships and collaborations, marketing, and data collection. So again, we go through these specific topics, asking engaging questions, and we actually have examples of other community festivals actually talking about these topics in this video. And I can go through that a little bit if you have further questions about each of those elements later. And so what we wanted to do after that video is actually, do a little bit more supportive work for festivals. So what we did was we partnered with Arts Boston in 2019 to 2020 to produce the festival's Audience Lab. And the intention of that was really to help organizations build diverse audiences in the arts and culture sector, really help them understanding, who are they reaching, who are they not reaching, and why that is. And we selected 10 festivals from our grantees. They were representative of geographic location, of size, but also of medium. And as you see here, we have Art Walk Natick, Dancing Queerly, Festival Patanzas, Florence Night Out, New Bedford Jazz Fest, Pioneer Valley Jewish Film Festival, Pecumtuck Homelands Festival, Points of Light Celebration in Lowell, Watertown Waterfront Art and Music Festival, and My Caribbean One World Expo. And since this did happen between 2019 and 2020, we found that our festivals in the cohort could not hold in-person festivals, unfortunately. But we still went through this extensive process of really supporting them, and some went virtual and some didn't. But out of that, we produced this festival's toolkit. It is accessible on our website, and anyone who is looking to throw an event or a festival can go on there and actually go through the exercises. And we've had testimonials from a lot of festivals that we've supported saying that this has helped them, build something sustainable, has helped them improve their data collection practices, and so on. So if you haven't checked it out, I would recommend doing that. But again, what is it used for? If you could go back. Sorry. We wanted to help increase their marketing knowledge, again, improve audience data collection. We actually have like a module that actually walks you through how to conduct a marketing experiment. If you haven't run like a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad before, it kind of helps you figure out your immediate goals, but how can you use these tools like social media to actually enhance them? And yeah, supporting decision-making in unusual circumstances. The to-go virtual or not module is actually really helpful because, for example, we've supported a lot of film festivals, and having them actually be online has actually improved not only their sales but their reach, actually getting them outside of their local area, but even expanding it to an international audience, which is really exciting. So it might work for you, but it might not. So it's just really, asking those questions on how to do that. So one of the modules I did want to highlight is the audience engagement model. And a lot of people ask, what is that and how is it different from traditional marketing? The short answer is how people interact with your content. For example, if you're doing a festival and you're promoting it on Instagram, it could be some sort of magic festival. This is just a made-up festival. But you might have a reach of people who are actually coming from outside your local area, even international. And it's really just analyzing how people are interacting with it. Are they liking your things? Are they commenting? And if it seems like they're very excited about it, can you turn that user into a donor? If you sell merchandise, just like plugging it into your media goals and trying to figure that out. So an example I want to show is the Boston Book Festival, and they have an annual festival every year. It spans over the week, and there are different events that engage, different bookstores and different authors from the Boston area. And something that they do to get people excited for the festival is actually do, little programs that would, engage people. So we have One City, One Story, which is an example. And one of the authors, they take one of their writings and they print out 20,000 copies, and then they actually put it all throughout Boston just for people to find. And it gets people really curious about what that is, and it helps the author actually raise their own visibility. And so for the Boston Festival Book Hunt, this is a photo right there. Different authors, they actually put a book and a little bit about themselves into a package, and there's instructions on actually posting it on social media, using a hashtag, and getting people excited about that. Personally, if I found a package with a book, I would be so excited, and I would actually want to read it. And then at Home Boston, this happened during COVID. So micro essays were solicited from people over the greater Boston area, especially students. And what we saw was people were writing about their experiences during COVID. And they partnered with the Boston Globe, and those stories were actually published in the newspaper. And they had partners like Boston University and Northeastern University actually getting the word out about writing the essays, but also publishing, young authors' work, which is really exciting. So I did want to highlight 2 local cultural councils and their festivals. I chose these 2 specifically because in 2018, they were one of the fewer local cultural councils that actually threw festivals. And to this date, they are still running them. So they've actually, changed over the years, but they've created something very sustainable. And so the Belchertown Cultural Council, it's in Hampshire County, it's in like the Northampton area, if you've ever been. So they started a food truck festival. And what they did was in 2017, they were really assessing their capacity. They were a smaller council and they were asking themselves, is this something we want to do? Is this something people want? So local cultural councils have to do a community input survey every year. And the feedback that they got was there was an increasing population of young families coming to the town. There was an inactive town common, and there was a lack of better food options. So what they did was, let's just bring a bunch of food truck festivals and see what happens. So each of the members, they coordinated contacting food trucks, working with their municipality to get the permitting, and just doing the operational stuff, and it ended up being really successful. They had over 1,000 people come the first year, and this actually led to a series of 3 festivals during 2018. So yeah, one in June, one in July, and one in August, and they're actually doing it in June and July and August, so I'd recommend definitely going to visit if you want to feel inspired by another local cultural council or a community. They did cite that establishing a relationship with the town was really important earlier on, just letting them know, asking them questions, and it actually ended up being so successful, the back and forth, that they ended up receiving a municipal liaison that sits on the select board. And so council programs that councils do, they're funded by 15% of the allocation that we provide to them. So it's not a lot of money, right? It could be like $500, it could be, $700. But that relationship with the town, they let them know that there was a citizen's petition that they could file. And they actually received $4,000 the next year to actually produce the festival by doing that. So again, it's really about organic relationship building, not only with the town, but with local businesses, organizations, individuals, which is really exciting. So the Northboro Cultural Council is a little bit different. Their capacity was not as great. They cited maybe a 50% turnover of members, previous years leading up to that. But the members who were remaining there, they actually did their community input session, and people wanted to see more from them, but also wanted to see more happening in the town. So again, they reflected on their role as a council and their capacity, and they did a lot of research. So they spent almost a year and a half actually reaching out to local towns and cities, finding out what they were doing, how they were collecting, input, doing a lot of outreach. And they also approached the Apple Festival, which is a successful festival in Northboro. I don't know if any of you have gone, but it spans over the day, maybe 4 to 5 days. And so they literally said, we don't know what to do. Is there a structure that we could provide for you? Is there a structure that you could provide for us? And they ended up just including them in the program, and they had a day slotted under the Apple Festival. So they had free programming, free marketing, and they also had their local media center also do the free advertising for them because one of the members was on the Cultural Council, which is really exciting. So again, they didn't have a lot of money to begin with. They had $500. So what they did, unlike Belchertown, they didn't have a town common. So they approached the local church with a large public space, and they were just like, can we use this? And so they said yes, and then they actually ended up lending them equipment like microphones, chairs, and even a stage. So the members of the Cultural Council, a lot of them were parents, right, in the public school system, and some of them were Boy Scouts. So the tents that you see there were provided for free by the Boy Scouts. And they wanted to highlight, local artists, and they recognized that Northboro was changing. So they didn't have money to pay their artists the first year. But, since it was the first year, people were on board and they said, could we just sell our work for free? And they said yes. Local artists who wanted to raise their own visibility and their own image, that's something that they wanted to do for free as well. And they ended up fundraising at the festival. So they wanted to do a bake sale. And because there was a large youth population, a lot of them were tied to the public schools. They just asked the PTO and parents that they knew if they could donate baked goods. And so they ended up making a few thousand from that. And that, sat in their budget and was able to provide them, some funding for future festivals. But something I wanted to mention as well is both of these councils, because of their relationships with the cities and towns, Northboro, for example, they're actually included. They have a seat at the table as they have been redeveloping their master plan. And actually public art is like a part of the master plan now. And that's because of the relationship that they kind of developed. So after speaking to them, these were some of the takeaways after throwing a festival for the first time. So establishing a strong mission and vision statement through a transparent, inclusive process, identify the needs of your community through varied engagement and outreach, get to know organizations, residents, and local businesses in your municipality, involve the municipality as early as possible, and be prepared and flexible. Especially during these times, towns and cities have limited bandwidth. So just really, understanding where they're coming from, but also understanding that a festival takes a lot of work. So, town officials or people that work for towns, it might be outside the scope of their job description. So just really being mindful of that. And then reach out to others who have gone through public events processes, and then check out what's happening, in your immediate area. I am here just to also be a resource to all of you. If you're thinking of throwing any type of festival, I could definitely connect you with another town or city that's doing a similar type of festival, especially, if the demographics are the same or if the municipality is the same. And even if you're in Maine, I'm definitely able to help you as well, or just put you in touch with the right people. Yes,
sorry.
of course.
There was one thing you said, and I just wanted to follow up.
Yeah.
One of the two communities you said was working on including public art in their master plan.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me which one it is?
Northboro.
Northboro.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and there are a lot of towns and cities that are now looking at public art, such as Watertown. That's the one that comes immediately to my mind, but I could definitely follow up with you after.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm going to actually have Pushpa from the Franklin Cultural Council actually speak about, her experiences producing a festival here right in Franklin.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Do you need the mic? Oh, good. I'm good. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Simotia, for including my piece along with your presentation. Appreciate it. And hello, everyone, and thank you very much for coming over and spending your Saturday afternoon with us. My name is Pushpa Jangareddy, and I'm one of the Franklin board member on the Franklin Cultural Council. And welcome, everyone. So I am very delighted and appreciate this opportunity to share with you a bit about the cultural festival that we held last September. The theme of our festival for 2021 was community unity, and the goal was ultimately to help bring our community together during the global pandemic, a year of racial reckoning as well as political, difficult political times last year. So we thought we'll get all the community people together and something to look up to. So that's how we started thinking about it. So through our programming for the festival, we were able to build cultural awareness and focused on trying to represent all the community members wherever possible. We were able to, for the very first time, bring the large Indian community that was in the town to the town commons by doing a Bollywood showcase. I can show you some of the pictures. These are the Bollywood dances that we organized. And this one was very much well received, and it was one of the highlight of the event. In fact, I can say one of the performers is here too, Swati. She's the one over there. Yeah, so it was a very good, big hit, and everyone loved it. And so the other one, we were also able to showcase an award-winning salsa orchestra alongside some Latin dance lessons alongside for the community, which was thoroughly enjoyed by all age groups, and everyone had a blast. Let me see if I can find a picture. Yeah, this is the salsa band, and there was all the children playing and dancing for it. That was great fun.
Was the festival multiple days?
It's only a day, one day.
One day?
One day.
Started from around 1 o'clock and ended until 5.
But this was your first
Yes.
festival?
Yes, this was the first festival. Actually, originally we planned on 2020, but we almost planned some part of it, and then because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
we had to postpone to 2021.
I think 8,000 people attended.
Yes.
Wow.
We had 8,000 people. Yes, yeah. So we didn't we know there was there were a lot of people coming, but we didn't expect that
And
big of a
people
crowd.
wanted to see more, and they wanted more time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was good. So, and at the same time, we also featured a large array of cultural cuisines with the food trucks we chose. So we had a Caribbean food truck, a lobster food truck, which was very popular, a Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and also a mobile Indian kitchen where they made food on the fly and they served to the people.
Wow.
So, and many more things like a coffee place and drink place and all. So we also hosted 50 artisan vendor booths, and we were able to support independent artists by keeping our booth prices low and providing them with 8,000 festival participants to sell to. So that was everybody had there was different type of things they were selling, and people were going and buying them. So we also had a kids corner, and with they were entertained with the puppet show. There is another one. There was a picture over there. So, and we had a community garden where interested parties can buy a flower in memory of their loved one, or a sponsor one for their company or for their family. We did that too. So because of the uncertainty of the pandemic at that time, like last year, because it's still like we are not sure everything is done or not. So we didn't get a chance plan early. We had like barely 3 to 4 months to do the whole planning. So
And 4 months?
yes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
And the performance, we had only 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, we all the
did it
planning.
in 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Was the
Maybe
performer paid?
maximum 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Yeah, the performers, the salsa band, and the other ones were paid, but the Indian community was very kind enough to, just contribute to the town, which they just practiced their piece and just did it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like I would say with the town, talking to the town officials and all, that took like 2-3 months, but the performing part and arranging the food trucks and all, I think I would say a month or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this was on the Commons?
Yes, it is on the Franklin Town Commons. Yeah.
And you had a salsa instructor too. Was
Yes.
that person was paid? That
Yes,
was
yes.
a wonderful feature to it. I
Yes,
found
you came.
people
Did you?
really, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I came. I missed
Oh.
this, but dancers. But yeah, that
We had
was,
2 instructors.
people were really
Yes.
engaged in
Yes.
that, and it felt like some of the people might have been the students of some of the instructors. A little bit of glance in the community.
Yes.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Some of them knew
Yeah.
what they were doing. You can say there were a couple of plants, but people got up. And
Yes. Yes.
You don't see that enough.
Yeah,
you know.
and that day was a very popular day because there was like Patriots game or something going on, and people were like they can't decide whether to go watch the game or stay here. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah. So
Practical
yes.
question, parking. What did you do about parking?
Yeah, we were able to manage. We used the Franklin High School because it has as you can see, there's a big
Right.
spot, and then the library and all. But this year we were thinking we'll have a shuttle because there were some challenges, like some people had to carpool and do different things in order to. But this year we might end up getting a shuttle to and fro, so that will solve the problem.
A shuttle from the high school or from?
Yeah, from the high school because here we have enough parking
Right.
for many people. Yeah.
Did you have, one other practical question, did you have a rain date?
No, we don't. We didn't. We never. I mean, even this year also we are not planning for a rain date. So it's.
Lucky, that's, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We got lucky last year. I hope we'll be lucky this year too. So the weather was just perfect. Yeah. So for this year, like I said, we started early the planning. We are fortunate we had time, so we had enough time, and we are in the process of planning and executing it. Yeah. So the town of Franklin had never seen a festival quite this large on the commons, and we are doing it for the first time. So we had to do a lot. We had to build a lot of relationships with the town employees. So we consistently worked with the Board of Health, Department of Public Works, the police station, and the Treasury office, so that they will help us with whatever they can. I can give you an example. We had to set up all the tents in the commons. So what happened is, for the tents to stand, there were barrels, like the barrels need to be filled with water, otherwise the tents cannot hold up. So we had to talk with the Department of Public Works, and they came Sunday morning and they filled up with 1,500 tons of water on the barrels, so that the tents stood up. So that's how they were very cooperative, and we had to go back and forth to make that happen. Yeah, so the town worked with us, like I said, to create new financial forms so that we could pay the artists directly, and also they helped us to navigate bringing and permitting new food trucks. So food trucks, as well as how to satisfy bringing so many people to the commons. Like we had to close a certain part of the road so that people can sit there and have their, there was a beer garden, so people can come and sit there and have some relaxed time. So we had to coordinate with the police so that everything is under control. Yeah, so those are some interesting things we had to do. Yeah, and so the feedback, we will be doing the same thing this year. The date is September 10th, and we are anticipating maybe over 10,000 visitors based on what the feedback we got from last year. So we are hoping the weather will be cooperative. Yeah. So as I said, the feedback was really overwhelmingly positive. Our community came together in a way we had not seen before. The festival was full of smiles, laughter, dancing, eating, shopping. Everything was there. Everybody had a blast. And our artisans told that they had made more money at our festival than some of the larger events they went, because of the number of people attendance, because of the attendance. So we took excellent. They had to. There's so many people, right? So people started buying, and also they made a good amount of money. And we took excellent care of the performers who all asked if they could return next year for the 2022 festival. So we might be getting the same, like some of them back again. Yeah, she will be there. Yeah, that's the default. Yeah.
And what organization is putting this festival on? What is the organization?
The Franklin Cultural Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of the organization? So did you create
Yes.
an organization?
It's the Franklin Cultural Council.
The Cultural Council.
Cultural Council. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And so did the Franklin Cultural Council receive a grant from the Mass Cultural Council, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that qualifies as that
Yeah.
Yeah.
nonprofit organization to
Yeah.
receive funding?
Yeah, so they're a municipal entity, so
Okay.
boards that, sit under cities
Right,
and towns,
okay.
they can apply as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a cultural council sponsored event, and it was funded by the grant from Mass Cultural Council. And how else did you fund this?
From the town, we got some funding from the town as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and some sponsors like the local businesses.
And private sponsors
private
also.
sponsors,
And
yeah.
when you received private funding, did you make a note of their sponsorship? Did you have a plaque or something saying
Yes.
that this was sponsored in part by?
Yeah, we had the signs at the festival.
Okay.
Whoever sponsored, we didn't go big on going with the businesses, but whoever is interested, like they came in and we had enough funding to do the festival. So
Okay.
we didn't go we didn't go all out to go and get the sponsors from the businesses. But whoever did sponsor, we had
On the stage, we had their business advertising
like
their
a
names.
big
Oh,
flyer.
okay.
Yeah.
Donated.
And secondly,
like a banner.
there is
Okay.
we also had a flower unity in the garden. I'm a secretary of the Franklin Culture Council. So we also had a big flower come up in the main gazebo. If you walk around, you can see that. And also there are a flower, we call it flower unity garden.
Yep.
So you sell, like it was $50. If you can afford, you can go bigger. So you put a sign, but I think it's a next slide. So you just put around the center of the dump common, so whoever pass by sees them.
Okay.
That is, I think it's the next slide.
Yeah, you can show that.
Wasn't the printing donated too? I wrote the
Yes.
story on it.
Yes, they are awesome. They are
So
always.
if you see on the right hand side, you see the flowers over there, like it's on the right side.
Yeah, these are the ones.
Yeah. So these are all like individual sponsor as well as small, business sponsor who wants to donate less amount. Yeah.
So, were the municipal costs like security and traffic and trash removal, that was picked up by the town?
Yes, yeah. We had to pay for the police, so that they can.
It's a DPW
Yeah.
came in between for the
Yeah,
garbage. and everything.
DPW. I don't think so. We paid because they just did it as part of the, festival process. But for the police, we paid, and I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah.
And the cleanup was
The renting of the tents.
The cleanup was real quick.
Yes,
Like within half hour, 45 minutes, it was.
Yeah, we did because we had enough volunteers who are willing to help out, so we just packed up everything end of the festival. Yeah.
Can I ask about the number of volunteers it took to plan and organize?
Probably we had a lot of high school volunteers. I would say 20, 25, I think, right? Veeras?
Actually,
Yeah.
we had lots of high school volunteers.
Yeah, high school
So we
volunteers.
split into two groups, the morning groups and evening group. The morning we asked them to come about 3 hours before the event. So they'll help us put up the tent because we need a tent for the Franklin Cultural Council's sports, like the chairs, the tables. So the high school students help out. And then we wrap up, we had another group of high school students who came and helped out because it's a give and take, right? They need we need someone and they need time, so we work out that way. And we issued a volunteer certificate to everyone who volunteered from the high school student.
So as far as members of the Franklin Cultural Council in the planning, because we did something last year with food trucks, and I know that takes a lot of time.
Yes, it is, yeah.
So I'm just curious, how many members were actively engaged in planning everything up until that day?
Everybody is involved actually. Each and every member we have given a designated task to do.
Right.
So one person handled the food trucks and I
Actually,
did the
whatever
Bollywood
one of
thing.
the we have Patrick Kinner. He was only in the food truck.
Okay.
We have Sarah Cronin, who was in the Unity Garden, the flower over here.
Okay.
So we have one lighting up, one. So I was doing only the volunteer portion, whom to contact and more to volunteer certificate issuing and everything and all. So everyone was given a task to do that.
Yes.
And how many members do you have?
We had last year we had 7 members.
Wow. Seven people?
Yeah, 7 people. Yeah.
And you did it in 4 months?
Yes. Yeah.
You're all very engaged.
That's amazing.
Yes, we are. We are all engaged. We took everything and we are all engaged. And
And you're all retired, right?
because
Can I ask one more question about numbers?
Yes.
How much money did you have to raise in addition to the festival grant and, with the sponsors and the donations and everything? Is it like a $10,000 investment, 20? I mean, it seems like a lot of money.
No, we didn't raise a lot actually because we had some fun. Because of the pandemic, there was some money left. We did organize a lot of online classes, like master classes during the pandemic. Like every week there was a master class with different topics. So that doesn't involve a lot of amount to be spending. It's just like a Zoom account. You just get a Zoom account and do it. So we had some money, and then we got some funding from the MCC. And then from the town,
And we have like a vendors, which was like the best thing about that. We differentiate group into two vendors. One were the vendors who really want to sell, which were given us for $75, and we had high school vendor student, which we were charging only $25.
Yep.
Only for the high school student, and which was a very successful part was the high school students. So they were really able to raise money for their own. So that was charged only $25, whereas the other group were just $75. That also money went into the
community garden, because everybody
with the
community garden. There's all the flowers. Like there were a lot of flowers, so each flower is $50.
Okay.
So multiple families, they brought like one for their family and one for the business. That is one part where we got the money to. The sponsorship, we didn't go a lot. We didn't reach out a lot.
We didn't have time basically for the sponsorship.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought we had enough budget, so we just pulled off the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
So less than $10,000?
Yeah, probably.
Somewhere around
somewhere,
that. But what I would say, what I add on to this is the two things that both Media and Pushpa mentioned is that the relationships with folks in the town
Exactly, I was say that.
are critical.
Oh,
the other piece is you need someone, at least one person, and there absolutely is one person on the FCC that's like all about this.
Right.
And they're making it happen. They are moving on it. They are looking at all the pieces and the parts and making sure that it's happening. So you need at least, it looks like probably one person's doing like the job of probably like 4 or 5 people, something like that, but you need someone who's just locked in on the details and making it happen.
Yeah. And that one person I would say is our chair, Kay Kelly. She's the one who put everything together. So she did. She had great leadership skills, so she made sure everything is in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
So in putting this on, was there something that came out of nowhere that you didn't expect or weren't prepared for? That
the number of people.
was that
We were expecting a good amount, but we didn't expect like 8,000. Like we thought we'll get something 5,000, maybe give and take. So that was unexpected, but it was
And how did you promote this?
Social media, like
Flyers.
Yeah, flyers like
Local papers.
flyers, local papers. Yes, exactly. Yeah, all those things. Yeah.
We didn't have much time.
That was the easy part.
Yes. Yeah.
We had much time, so when we started putting flyers, we were literally driving our own car and sticking in every restaurant in downtown Frank. Like, it took me like 2 hours to stick to 10 restaurants because I'm like, will you paste it or not? That's the first question. So you carry your cellotape and stick it around. And that and another, we have a Franklin Facebook group, which is very strong. So we posted in there. Not much. I think that is we stayed more local.
Yeah.
We didn't have time basically.
So did you have a Facebook page for this festival?
No, we have a Franklin Town Facebook. It's all about Franklin, where you find everything.
Now they have a Franklin Cultural Council.
Yes.
We do have it, but the Franklin Culture Council is a small Facebook as compared to all about Franklin.
Right.
So we just keep on sharing, and just get shared.
I have another
But we didn't have time basically. The time was of limitations.
practical question.
Yes.
Porta potties, did you have porta
Oh yeah, yes we had. Of course we had them. Yeah, we do. Yeah, and then this year we were planning to put in more because, like I said, we might be getting close to 10,000 or more than that. So we are planning to get more of those. Yeah.
How did you get an accurate count of the folks that showed up? So how did you get that 8,000 number?
Like based on the statistics, like whatever the capacity of the town commons.
Oh, I see.
And it's based on that we were able to calculate, and of course they were like.
The police estimated. I think.
Yes. Police also estimated. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they also estimated.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so this year, that's the thing. We want to have the shuttle in place so that we can bring in folks to and fro to the commons, because that should not stop kids to come.
Do you need to buy insurance of any sort when you start thinking about shuttling people around, or is there any insurance involved?
I don't think so. No.
We just started thinking about shuttles. So I think we can consider point of insurance.
That's always worst case scenario. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
We just started thinking about it. We haven't decided, so maybe that would be an edit point to
Who's
discuss.
twisted an ankle and who's gonna cover it? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you for that.
You must have a town attorney like we do, so I would go to that person.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, but hopefully,
Yeah, that's a question for the town administrator, probably.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
We haven't reached that discussion yet. I
At
think.
your own risk.
And to that point with the town administrator, so how do you carry on conversations with your municipal leaders? Is it mostly email? Are you comfortable picking up the phone, or?
Probably all of
From
it.
what I know, it's more email, and I think they meet a lot in person.
Yeah.
The chair in the town.
Chair, she has scheduled meetings like once in a while to be the town administrator. So there is a in-person meeting.
With the cultural council?
Our chair, she goes
chair.
and
The chair and the town administrator. You saw both of them today, Jamie Helen and Kay.
So your chair, your cultural council chair, and your town administrator have meeting times?
Yes,
In
sometimes.
person?
In person.
Yeah, in person.
I know, right? We're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, you have to look like.
Yeah, because
Yes.
And how long do you think that relationship has been like that? Is that something relatively new, or forever?
And second, we have I think town Ted Conner. He was a part of the.
Yeah, and people who are on the FCC have now
Been
elected into.
Yeah, you're very fortunate to have those
Yes,
folks
so-
on your town committee.
Well, no, they just ran just now.
The thing you need to remember is that it's important. The town administrator is excited about creating economic activity in the town. So he's very interested in encouraging the residents and people outside this town to come in there. So that's why he likes engaging with all the teams.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's profitable for the town to have all the local businesses being utilized.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So what came first, the funding or the planning? Or was it?
I would say hand in hand. Hand in hand, yeah. Both of them, yeah. But definitely the planning, I would say the funding, based on whatever is available, we can always work around. So, yeah. So, any questions?
Great. No.
Yeah, so thank you. That was a very interactive session.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you all. And
Yeah.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors. Good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.